Hey there, it's Kari, StudioR12 Stencils, and today I'm going to be on the clock painting this project, and I think you're going to be shocked with how quick it comes together. We're going to dive right in. Today we are painting a bloom where you are planted sign. This one it's small, it's quick and easy. You can make it difficult, but it doesn't have to be difficult. And today I just really want to show you how quickly you can paint projects for your friends, for pops of decor. If you are painting to sell, it doesn't have to be super time consuming, but they can still be beautiful. So for this project that I painted, I did samples for an in-person event. I think I painted 8 samples over a 2-day period. And I was trying to do different color schemes and just different things that would show different techniques. So this one was intentionally a super basic background with simple white flowers that you could do really detailed. And we have videos on how to paint really intricate designs with different colors. You'll have to check those out. But this one I just wanted to be basic so you can do something quick and easy. And then we added the pop of pink in, and I'm going to show you why once we get there. So for this project today, I originally did it on a 9-inch surface. Today we are going to do it on a 12-inch surface just because that's what I had lying around. And I also want to show you the difference of what it looks like with more of a green space or a white space. All right, so we are going to start a timer. And today we are showing you how quickly we can paint this and how long it takes. The base coat paint color is 71, our cream is 22, and our pink is a 53. So as we start with our 71, we're grabbing a polyfoam brush, and this 71 green does a really, really beautiful job of covering. Some colors, when you paint them, some oranges and pinks and reds, you can potentially do several layers, even a white or a cream. But with this green, it has such beautiful coverage that you can get away with doing one coat. We are following a little bit of basics when it comes to base coating. We are painting in the same direction. I'm going vertically here just because that's what I like. You can do horizontal if you like that better, but you'll want to do the whole base coat in the same direction. And then once I'm getting to the edges, I am pulling toward myself on the edges that are close, and I'm pushing away on the edges that are far away. We never want to pull to the edge so that we run the risk of going and getting paint along the edge of the surface. So you always want to go against the edge, if that makes sense. So this is really a quick and easy base coat. It's taken no time at all. I do think that after having one base coat, I am going to do a second base coat. So I am going to go ahead and blow dry, and then we'll get our second coat on. So we do have a couple tips for you on how to know when your base coat is dry. You will visibly be able to see the difference in the paint as it starts to dry. It goes from being wet and shiny to more of the matte color. It also becomes less sticky and less cool. So if it's sticky or cool to the touch, then it is still wet. So you'll notice often when I am blow drying, I will blow dry for a few seconds and then I will run my hand across the project, and that will kind of give me an idea on feeling it if it is dry. I had the pleasure of using this brand new polyfoam brush. I think it's only been, well, I think it's been used once, but it's still really lovely and soft and has been taken care of. With these, you will want to make sure that they are fully submerged in water until you have a chance to clean it out. And then when you do get a chance to clean it out, all you do is run it under water and squeeze it out until all of the paint is out and the water runs clear. You never want to use soap with a foam brush because it is very hard to get out, and then you run the risk of having some soapy projects in the future. All right, so our base coat's finished. Steve, can you tell me a time?
4 minutes, 17 seconds.
4 minutes and 17 seconds to do 2 base coats on a 12-inch board. Okay, our base coats are finished. So this is being filmed in spring of 2024, and the dark green is a very popular trend that's coming back. It was very popular in the 90s. It reminds me of my parents' bedroom in the 90s. They have the dark green and the maroons and the floral and the vines. And so it always reminds me of that. So since my stencil is smaller than my surface today, I'm using a T-square to measure it up. And we have 1.5 inches of space all the way around it. And I just wanted to make sure that I did have it directly in the center. You don't have to do that. This could also be done offset over to the right or offset over to the left. I'm putting tape in 2 different corners of my project. I'm not really pushing down hard because I don't want my tape to peel back the paint. You can also put the tape on your apron or on your jeans just to make it not so sticky, since that paint is so fresh. So we're going into our number 22, putting the paint on our palette paper. You'll need to check out our reusable palettes. These are pieces of Mylar, and you can clean them just like you would a stencil. We have a video on how to clean your stencils the right way so that you can use them over and over and over again. All of our stencils are washable and reusable, and that makes it kind of really amazing if you are looking to paint to sell, or if you find a design that you love and you want to paint it for all of your family members for Christmas, and then everyone gets the same thing, but they can get it in the color scheme that matches their home. So we are doing some stencil basics here. You get into your paint. We're using a dome-shaped brush, and I also get to use a brand new brush today. We are offloading on our paper towel. We just want it to be really light and dusty on our hand as we are coming to our project. And we are hardly applying any pressure. I think one of the things that when we do our in-person events and when we get to paint with our stencil fans, that when I paint on their hand and show them the light amount of pressure, that they are always surprised at actually how light we mean when we say we are very hardly even applying pressure on our project. So I got 1 layer of stenciling done. Heading back up to the top, since we are applying such a light pressure, it's not wet and goopy. And so for this project that has a lot of design, then it's already dry by the time I'm ready to come back up to it. Now this stencil is a little close to the edge of your cut part of the stencil. The design part is close to the edge. So if you tend to ghost or maybe forget to pay attention when you're painting because you get so into it, then you might want to put a piece of tape around it or use one of the StudioR12 multi-maskers so that you don't accidentally get the stencil color, so the cream, onto your green. So we're just finishing up here. One thing that you can do when you are stenciling, we are using a swirling motion now, which means we are swirling left and right, is that you can switch the direction of your swirl when you do your layers so that you can ensure that you are getting it into all the nooks and crannies. So here for my 2nd layer here, I'm going into my 3rd layer. I want this cream to be a little more bold. So now I'm going into a stipple, and that means it's a tap, 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 tap. Stipple is really good for when you are painting these small areas, especially if you are doing multiple colors. So let's talk about if you're doing one color like I am. I'm just using one of our big brushes. This is a 5/8 inch dome brush. We also have a 1-inch dome brush that would be really great for this and help cover more area quicker. But if you are doing multiple colors, the flowers, the greenery, the words, then you will want to likely use a smaller brush, because those smaller brushes are going to take up less area and they are going to reduce the risk for you of ghosting and getting color where you don't want it. Because with projects like this, with all of the different designs and the flowers, then that you have to really be careful about taping off or using a multi-masker to make sure you don't get the color where you don't want it. I did a little quick peek. One thing that you do have to be careful of when you are stippling is that, one, you are applying more pressure. So you're applying more pressure to get more paint to cover quicker. And then you are also pushing more paint up into your brush because that pressure is being applied. So when you do stipple, you do run the risk of bleeding under. So I always like to peek at my projects as I'm going along. You can fix mistakes when you are stenciling, but the biggest thing about fixing mistakes is that time is of the essence. So as you are painting, you're gonna have a few minutes, 5 minutes or so, before the paint starts to really cure, that you can use water and our click eraser to fix that. We have a video on that I will share the link for. So we're about halfway done with this. Now my arm is getting a little sore because of all the stippling. So that is one thing that we talk about a lot. Swirling works some muscles, stippling works some muscles. And sometimes I'll take a little break and do a little arms, but we're on the clock today. Notice that every time that I apply paint to my brush, I am coming back over here and offloading onto the paper towel. You can do that in a swirl motion, or you can just do it in a swipey motion to get that paint off there so that it's not wet and goopy. You may have also noticed that when we did the swirl of this project, we got over the entire stencil with just one onloading of the paint. And now that we are stippling, I have had to add paint to my brush several times. So the paint does not last as long when it doesn't go as far when you are stippling. So you will have to apply paint more often. One thing that you can do is when you start to notice a buildup of paint on your paper towel, you can load your offloaded paint back onto your brush. So I have a couple spots that have a buildup of paint that I can go back and use that paint so that it is not wasted, and then just unload it from the paper towel and offload it from the paper towel. I am starting to kind of run out of space on my paper towel. So what we do is we get 2 of the small ones, put them together, fold them in half to make a square. And then now that I'm ready for a different place to put my paint, I'm gonna just fold it in the opposite direction. And then we're gonna get 2 uses out of it. All right, let's take a look and see what we've got. And that is pretty good. I'm on layer 3 here. It does look like I did a 4th layer on this other one. So I am gonna do a 4th layer just so I can go ahead and show you how long it would take. See, where are we at on time?
Just over 15 minutes.
Just over 15 minutes. So you get a message that you have to head out and visit a friend. You wanna take a gift. You have a couple hours till you have to go, or you're trying to find the perfect gift for a friend. We're still in a pretty good time frame for how long this is taking. And don't forget, you don't have to make this bright and bold. If you want to do just a quick wispy gift, we could have stopped after that first swirled layer, and then it is really dusty, kind of a farmhouse. It looks like it has a little bit of distressing. So you can always stop there. It does take longer when you are trying to get something bright and bold. What I'm not going to do here is I'm not going to repaint this center portion because we are going to paint it pink. So I do not have to go back over it because it is going to be covered already. So let's go ahead and show you what it looks like with just the cream. So you can very much so stop here, and it's one color palette and it's super pretty. However, I think that adding the bit of pink to it just made it really pop and added another color to it. And I think the green and pink work really pretty together. So I'm going to use my same brush. I'm going to go into number 53, the pink. And, oh, that got stuck. That's entirely too much paint for this project, but that's okay. So now that I'm coming into my pink, we already have the white cream background. This should not take long because we are painting the pink over the cream. If you have watched our videos, then you know we always like to undercoat colors that don't cover well. So pinks, oranges, yellows, reds, anything that is light that you are painting on a dark background. If you really want the color to pop, you will need to undercoat it. We have lots of videos for that. But the reason that this pink is only going to take one layer is because we have the 2 layers of cream. We won't typically, let's see, I'm going to use a Post-it note here just because I have one as my masker. And we won't typically do a cream with the pink. We typically prefer to do a really light gray so that we don't lose any of the color. If you do a red over a white, then it might turn pink. So we typically do a gray as the undercoat, but since we were already using the cream and this original pink was kind of an afterthought, it actually worked out really well. And then it also kind of kept it in the same color family because we are using the dirty brush, and it kind of really blended that pink and that cream really pretty. So this part right here, painting this pink, it's actually probably the quickest part of the project. And I'm going to soak my brush into the water and peel off my stencil. Steve, where are we on time?
19 minutes.
So less than 20 minutes, and we have a beautiful 12-inch sign that you can use for a gift, you can use for home decor, you can sell at a craft or vendor fair. If you are going to gift this, we definitely recommend that you varnish it. We have lots of videos on varnishes with different tips on how to apply them and what we like to use and when. If you love this video and want to see more tips, tricks, and techniques on stencil painting, you are in the right place. Subscribe to StudioR12 Stencils right here on YouTube. Ring the bell so you'll be notified every time we add new videos.